Hey everyone, it's Jason, Cowabunga. This video we're going to look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Dicemaster dice building set. So I have previously, should definitely go check it out. I also have another video where I went over the Heroes in the Half Shell set. And in this video, so go watch this one if you want to know more about Dicemasters and everything, as I went over kind of like the rules of the cards and all that stuff. This one, I'm just going to jump in. I've already opened this box before, so all my cards and stuff are probably sorted out. So I'm just going to go through, we're going to go off, look at what's in there and everything, but I'm not going to really explain the game too much. So yeah, go check out the other Turtles video if you want a better explanation of the game. It's not a full gameplay video, or how to play. It was just me trying to describe like how things work, so you had an idea of what you were looking at. So what's neat about these sets, and I did say in the other video as well, was that the Dicemaster set started with Marvel and DC, and then went and Dungeons and Dragons, Yu-Gi-Oh for like one set, Warhammer 40k, and even WWE. So they're hitting everything. So you have all these different IPs you can mix together. They get a little wonky at times if you mix different things. But the Turtles, they didn't release in the booster packs like they do all the other stuff. They released in these two big boxes, which accompany the 80s Turtles cartoon, the Mirage comic books, which are kind of more like this, the more grim and gritty, black and white stuff, where they didn't have the different colored bandanas, they just all had red and brown, and then the Nickelodeon cartoon. So there's a mixture of characters in each of these boxes. So if you want like the full scope of all the different characters, you'd have to buy both boxes. Everything's spilled out all over my set. Yeah, but these boxes are really neat. So if you buy one of these, they're going to hold all your dice. I'm going to imagine that one of these boxes, so if you bought both, I can probably fit everything into one box. These things I think are probably big enough to hold all sleeve cards. And there's two different spots for cards here. Plus there's plenty of other room here for like other generic dice and all that. So I'll have to see if I can fit all the dice in one box. Camera froze. I hate when my camera freezes. Alright, so I haven't unboxed all the dice, which I thought I'd done. So we're going to kind of do this similar to what I did with the other set. And like what I like to do when I open the packs, is I like to look at the dice and see if I can guess who all the characters are. But yeah, what's really neat about these big box sets is you can buy this, it's enough to play the full game. It's like a full starter set, but there's also enough content to hold everything. They do make similar versions called like campaign boxes for the Marvel and DC sets, so you can buy it and it has enough cards to play a game. So here's the little maps that they have. This one just has the weapons and they have the colors on them to match. And this kind of just tells you where to put your dice and everything. Definitely better than the like regular base, the original starters for like Marvel and DC, because those are inside the instruction book, so you like pull the book out and it's not sitting super flat. And on top of that, if you had a question, you had to like move all your dice. This just explains how to play everything you buy does. Again, I'm not going to go super full into all of this. Watch my other video if you want more things. They have a term summary, lexicon on the back if you want to know what the different abilities do. Alright, let's look at stuff. So let's start off with this yellow guy. So the guy, top corner here, this will be, just quick, has its cost, that's how much you spend to actually play the guy once you purchased it, and then having attack and defense. And all the pictures kind of help you figure out what colors. So this is a video camera. This is clearly April O'Neil. And I say clearly, surprisingly, because there's a lot of stuff that you might not know. Ooh, I want to go over the dice bags quick here. The other component piece. So they come with dice bags so you can play. This has like purple shell on the back. They're not very sturdy. I would recommend probably just going out and buying some bigger cloth bags so you can get your hand in there. These ones aren't as nice. Aren't as neat. They have the picture on the front, kind of like of the Mirage character. Like you can see Raphael, you can see Donatello, and they have their weapon on the back. But just as a comparison to like the one from the other set, like big colored bow, big colored picture, you know. Like, I mean, there's the things. You have a big giant colored picture, or you have the smaller one. You have the different fonts and stuff, which are kind of neat, and then the backs. But yeah, that's sort of like a here or there thing. Like, these bags are okay for playing, but I wouldn't stick my hand into it too often, because you might rip them. Alright, let's see. We have April O'Neil, who we had in April in the last set, but that was the Nickelodeon ones. Now we have the 80s cartoon version. So she lost 2, 2, and 3. Decent stats. 0, 0, 0. She costs free no matter what, but she gained some pretty high defense there at the end. Ally, so she counts as a sidekick. Channel 6 Reporter, when fielded, giving another target sidekick or turtle character +1 attack this turn. That's helpful. Part of the family. When this is fielded, giving another target sidekick or turtle character 1 defense. So you can pick which one. Do you need more attack or do you need more defense characters? So if you're playing like, I'm gonna harken back to the stuff from the first video because I just did it. So I kind of remember. So if like, Raphael had low attack, high defense. So then you might want to play this April and give him some extra attack. Leonardo is the exact opposite. He had high attack, low defense. So then you might want to include this April. Or you could do this April. Ninja in Training. When fielded, draw a die. If it is a sidekick or a turtle character, roll and add it to your reserve pool. That's cool. So she gets an extra character right away. That was April O'Neil. Who do we have up next? I'm just going to randomly grab these. That is a Mouser. So let's search this deck of cards for a Mouser. And they're in alphabetical order, because I haven't messed with them. They won't be after this, but they are now. So now we have a Mouser. And this looks like, it looks like it's probably based off the Mirage comic, but it's kind of the 80s. I think they were introduced in the 80s cartoons. It's kind of more a stylized version. Has the villain icon. Interesting stats. 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 3. When fielded, KO another target character guy with a when fielded ability unless its owner pays 2 life. Megal Teeth. That's pretty interesting. Spare parts. Mousers get +1 attack and defense while another player has an active ability that says when fielded. Ooh, so he does not like fielded abilities. And Mouse Eradicator. When Mousers blocks or is blocked by a character die with a when fielded ability, roll that die. On an energy phase, move it to the prep area, otherwise leave it on its rolled face. Interesting. Huh. That's kind of a different ability. So again, if you're playing against other characters that have when fielded abilities, he's going to be phenomenal. But if they didn't have any, it's kind of useless. Here we have a pink and purple guy. So now again, if I didn't see some of these or haven't gone through these before, I'd be like, this is some sort of squid monster. No, this is Baxter Stockman. And again, because you're looking at different mediums of the characters, it's sometimes harder to tell. So I think this is more of the Nickelodeon version. I'm not sure. I I thought this was maybe the Nickelodeon ones are only in the other box, and this is a different version altogether. So maybe like updated comics, because they're a little bit stylized differently. The Nickelodeon ones you can really tell because they're really CG. So back to Stockman, Evil Scientist, 0, 0, and 1. Oh, he has some decent stats. 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. When fielded, move all mouse or dice from your used pile to your prep area. That's sort of funny because he has a when fielded with mouses, and all the mouses like when you do a when fielded, do stuff with that character. So that's cool. Mutagenic Researcher. Well, back to Stockman is active. All mousers get +2 attack and are free to field. Oh boy. So he's the mouser guy, which makes sense. He made the mouses in most of the series. But it's still interesting that he's like, everything has to do with mousers. I kind of wish he had other abilities. Fly Guy. When fielded, you may purchase a mouser die for 1 and then immediately roll it. Yeah, so that's neat. He works with mouses, but the only thing that sucks is, I mean, if you're going to play Baxter in this game, you're going to basically have to have the mousers. Otherwise, it's kind of pointless. So here we have orange and purple. That is clearly Bebop. Bebop, bebop. Alright, so we got a Bebop, and we got the 90s version with the big shoulder pads. Yeah, it's even like a redrawing, though, of the 90s version. Like, different colors are a little bit different. Troublesome. Well, Rocksteady is active. Bebop gets 2 attack and 2 defense. So 0, 2, 4, 3, 6, or 4, 7. So he gets a lot more defense. But he's going to obviously work well with Rocksteady. Mutant Warhog. When fielded, if Rocksteady is active, deal 1 damage to target player. Or Pig-Headed. While Rocksteady is active, you may reroll your Bebop dice anytime it shows an energy phase in your roll step. So basically, these are energy, not like natural like lightning bolt energy, but you can keep rerolling. So it's kind of interesting, though. He's got a 4, 5, and a 6, and he's always going to work with Rocksteady, which I know I just said, like, oh, if I'm playing Baxter, I have to use the mouses. Well, if the mouses don't have to be played with Baxter, but Baxter almost has to be played with the mouses, or his abilities are useless. Which one card would have been fine, but all 3, I'm kind of like, you didn't make Baxter as much fun. Bebop and Rocksteady are a team, so having to play both of them at the same time really makes sense. So yeah, do you want to gain extra attack and defense? Do you want to deal free damage, or do you want a chance to always reroll your Bebop and get them out more often? Kind of an interesting combination. Let me see if I can find Rocksteady quick. I'm going to assume that this is Rocksteady. Looks kind of like a helmet with a horn. And then we can see what his does, since we know they go together. Otherwise, I wouldn't search guys out. Yeah, he's got, like, these odd colors. It's almost like they took, like, a pre-drawing or something of them. I'm not sure. So, Rough and Tumble. So, he's got 3, 3, 5, 3, and 4, 6. So, he's kind of the exact opposite. He's got high attack. So, he's got lower attack, but higher defense. But he's got high attack and low defense. But he also has a free cost. They both have free cost. Interesting. Yeah, so they complement each other. So a 4, 4, and 5. So I kind of wish it was a 4, 5, and 6, so it matched. But here it goes. Well active. Rocksteady gains 2 and 2. So if you played this one and the other one, well, they're both out. They each have 2, 2. So that's actually pretty cool. So you can play them together. You don't have to play those 2 together. Armed and Dangerous. Well, Bebop is active. Rocksteady gains Overcrush and takes no damage from blocking characters. Oh, so that's cool. So the one of his does extra damage when he's played, or you can re-roll him. This one gives him Overcrush, which is basically like Trample in Magic. You block, you do damage through the blocker, to the opponent, so they can't use small characters. And Mutant Rhino, when fielded, if Bebop is active, KO target opposing level 1 character. So this actually kind of work well with the other one, where you play one of them, you can do 1 damage, or this one you get KO a cheap character. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I like synergy between those two. Here we have Casey Jones. So I wonder, and I'll have to look to see if this Casey Jones die. I'm saying there's these other characters like that are in both sets, like the Turtles, and like Shredder and those guys. Anyone that's in both sets here, I kind of want to see if they have the same dice like they do in Marvel. Like where sometimes you have multiple Captain America cards from different sets that have the same cards. So this is a cheaper Casey Jones, no team ability, because this is the Mirage version, and again, he didn't really play well with the Turtles. He kind of helped them out, but he wasn't necessarily like their teammate. If they did the IDW version, he would definitely be a Turtle character. So he's decent all-around stats. If your life total is less than 15, in case you go blocked or blocked by a sidekick or a villain, gain 1 life. Okay, that's cool. I know it's other ability to gain a life when you beat a sidekick, so that kind of gets extra thing. Mutant Hunter. When Casey Jones attacks, you may choose any number of target sidekicks or villain dice to block Casey Jones. Character guy in any arrangement you choose. Interesting, so you can force who he has to fight against. Casey Jones, Lunatic Vigilante. Casey Jones can't be blocked by sidekicks or villain dice. So that's kind of neat. You get like some different options. So he's working on villains and that. So either you're going to take damage, you can gain some life back, or you can choose your blockers, or you can just be like, you know what, he's not even going to be blocked. But now if I play with that Casey, one of those Casey Jones, I can't use the Casey Jones from the other set. She's going to work just like the all the Turtles stuff. Alright, so we're going to look at the 4 Turtles. So all 4 of them, they have their different dice with their different symbols. So now, these dice will be different, at least somewhat, because the other dice, not only are they a different color, they're a different picture. These ones show their weapons. The other set shows a silhouette of the character, and that's kind of how you knew they were doing different versions. I think like the Hulk, like the original Hulk, was like a giant fist, and then like the second time they get a Hulk, they had a radioactive symbol to show it was a different Hulk. These are also kind of neat because they're all green, primary green, with their inlay being their colors red, purple, blue, orange, where the other set, they're all the colored dice of the turtle with their inside thing being the color of the character. Alright, so now we're going to look at, I just got all the turtles here, we're going to look at all of them right in a row. So we have Donatello Does Machine. So the other set, they were all 5, so here we got a little bit cheaper one. But Does Machines has no special abilities, just lets him dig them out, does some damage. He has 4-2, so starts off with not much defense, and he kind of evens out. Where the other one was more even all the way across. Donnie. Turtle power when Donnie is active, other characters cost 1 less. So that's the same ability the other ones had. And the Mad Scientist. When Donatello is active, when you field a different turtle character, spin that die up 1 level. If that die is already level 3, instead draw and roll a die. Oh, so that's pretty cool. So you play a character, you automatically get the next level of them, or you could potentially get another turtle. That's actually pretty cool. That's a cool ability. That's Donatello. Leonardo leads. Basic ability, nothing special. Turtle power. So he gets a different turtle power. When Leonardo's active, when a different turtle character die would be KO'd, instead KO a Leonardo guy and gain 2 life. And this is Leo. Well, that's interesting. Because the other set, they all had the ability to just make them all cheaper. His is actually, if they die, you can KO him instead and gain 2 life, so he can sacrifice himself. And then he has this one. When Leonardo is active, other die costs 1 less to purchase. But it's a 6 cost, where the other version has a 5 cost. Now, the difference might be, why wouldn't I pay the 5 cost one then instead? Because the stats are different. So he's got 2, 4, 3, 5, 4, 6. So this Leonardo's big brother is much more of a defensive character, which is what I said in the other set. Because in the other box, Leonardo is more of the attacker, and Raphael is more of the defender. That's how their stats work. And I thought it made more sense to have Leonardo be a defender. Like, he's going to hold back, serve the situation where Raph is going to charge in. So that's what they did in this set, is they made it more... Alright, we're back. My camera had to get changed out quickly, so I forgot what I was in the middle of saying. So I'm just going to jump off with Michelangelo. So I have Michelangelo here. He's the party dude. It's so interesting that they gave them blank versions. I mean, I guess it makes sense, like, if this is, like, a starter set, and it's like, here, you just pick these guys, they don't have any special abilities, you know, go. It makes sense, but I almost kind of wish they, in that sense, just, like, here's 4 extra character cards with no special abilities, like, and call them, like, starter character or something, and then that, rather than wasting, like, a full character. Because obviously if I have a 4, 5, and 6, I'm probably going to pick one of the other guys and do something cool with them. So I have Mikey. When Michelangelo is active, other characters cost 1 less die. So I think they messed up on the Leonardo card, because the turtle power so far has always been associated with this, except for his. I think they put it on the wrong card. And partay! There's a lot of text. When a different turtle character die is blocked, spin each Michelangelo character up 1 level. For each Michelangelo character die already at 3, instead KO target blocking character. Oh boy. That's crazy. And then you can have multiple of the same characters out too. So, Michelangelo, party on. And then finally we have Raphael. Cool, but rude. Yeah, so he has pretty even stats. So he's more like the Donatello from the second set. I didn't really look at Michelangelo's stats. Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 4. So he's more of an attacker. So that's kind of interesting. Donnie sort of still stayed in the middle. But Leonardo in one set is an attacker, one set is a defender. Michelangelo in one set is an attacker. The other one, he's kind of more in the middle. And this one, Raphael is in the middle. And Donatello, the other one, he's a defender. So anger issues. Whenever a different turtle character attacks, deal 1 damage to target character die. That's pretty cool. And then he should have turtle power. Makes everyone cost up. Wrath. Alright. Another thing I want to point out is, well, my camera was dead. I went and looked at the Casey Jones dice. It's the same exact picture, which means they have the same exact symbols on them. So he has a 1, 3. I can flip, like, exact same, just different coloring. So that's kind of neat. It's neat in the context of when they did it in the Marvel sets. Like, if I opened a booster pack and I got a Captain America, I have one of his die. So if, like, another set later I opened up a different pack of Captain America, or I opened a starter and I got another set of him, now I have more die that would work together. And that's, I like the fact that the turtle dice were different. So, like, I'm just going to grab 2 different turtle dice. So, like, where the turtles have different stats. They even have different symbols. So, like, here, Michelangelo, one, he has the party mask. The other one, he has a fist. So, they have different abilities that way. But, like, his one, he has a 4 and a 2 and a 4 and a 2. So, those are the exact same. But then if I rotate it, here, he becomes On level 2, he becomes a 4/4. He stays the same, but he becomes a 4/5. And then the third version, which is on here somewhere, right there. So he's a 5/5 or a 6/4. So this guy, he stays pretty even. This one, he gains better stats, like higher attack, less defense. But they're different pictures, so they work like that. And it kind of sucks that they wasted Casey Jones that way. They could have had 2 different Casey Joneses. And they're both, I think, like the Mirage versions, because even like April's the same way. Like April has the 2 different ones. You have the 80s cartoon and the Nickelodeon, and she has very different stats. So like, they start off as 0/1/1s, but then they become a 0/1/3 and a 0/2/2. So she gains 1 defense over, but she also costs less. And then there, I can find the other form. 3/1, 1/1, and there we go. So in that one, she still says 0, she gains more defense, and then this one, she goes up 2 more defense. So again, they make them different, essentially different characters, which I like better. So far, the Turtles, Casey, and April have been the only characters that have 2 versions. Obviously, there's going to be some more, because we're going to get into them. So here we have a robot. And if I didn't know anything about the comics, I had no idea, or comics or show or whatever, I had no idea who this was. That's the Fugitoid, which I know from the IEW thing, but he's also from the Mirage comics. So, Professor Honeycutt. Villain. So this one's a villain. The other one is more of an ally. 3/1, 4/2, 5/3. So more of an attacker. But again, a 3, really cheap character to play. Has no special abilities, but decent stats. The Neutrino Scientist. When Fugitoid is active, other villains and turtle character guys can't attack unless their owner pays 1. Ignore this effect till the end of the turn. Well, that's pretty cool. So even though he's a villain, he kind of plays both fields. And high-tech body. When Fugitoid is active, other villains and turtle characters gain -1 attack. So if you're going to play with him, you're probably going to want to fill your deck with non-turtles or non-villains. There's a couple of them. So that's pretty cool. Fugitoid. I'm going to spend a lot of time on him. Alright, here we have a black and red guy. That's the other Foot Clan. Foot Ninja. So we have Foot Ninja, Shredder's Army, villains. So they're 0, 0, and 1. I think these are the same stats as the other ones. Now this one, I guess I don't mind as much if they're the same. Although you can only have 3 out anyhow. So it's not too bad. But again, it would have been neat if they had like a different version of them. But still, whichever. It's not as bad with these guys because they're supposed to be generic characters anyhow. So Swarm just means if you play them, you can search your deck for another, or your dice bag for another one and find them. Allies. So this, oh, that's neat. Loses Swarm, just gains an ally. Foot Ninja gain 1 attack and 1 defense for each other's sidekick die in the field zone. So basically, they can get a bunch of them out. They can boost each other. The Ninja Syndicate. That was Shredder's Army. And Robotic Ninja Warriors. While Foot Ninja is active, your other sidekick does gain +1 attack while blocking. A Foot Ninja doesn't give itself 1 attack. So this one helps, but it only helps another sidekick. But not Foot Ninja. This one lets you play more Foot Ninja, and this one gain a bonus, but for only each other sidekick. So this is probably the best one, I think. I'm wondering if they're the exact same dice. The symbol looks the same. Usually if the symbol is the same, it's the same stats. And one of these. So I guess if I had to choose, because this is more like a blue than a black. I would almost like the black and red, but yeah, 0, 1, 1, 2, 1, and then I always forget what the third side is. 2, 2. Yep, so these are the same. Which, I mean, it's sort of weird. I just got done kind of complaining about the the Casey Jones thing, and they do the exact same thing right there, and it's kind of like, can I still complain about it? Again, I said, I don't, the Casey Jones ones bothers me because all the Turtles and April all have different dice. So you have two different sets, different options on which Turtles you want to play versus which set. The Casey one, though, it's like, it doesn't matter what set you play, the dice are going to be the same. So you have 6 cards to choose from, with both him and the Foot Ninja, but all of their dice are going to be the exact same. And like the Foot Ninja, I guess it doesn't bother me as much. And here we got a Krang. The Foot Ninja don't bother me as much because they're generic. I don't expect their stats to be very different. But like Casey, they could have just went even just slightly different and made them a little, but again, going through the Mirage and the 80s, they're both from the Mirage universe, so they kind of make sense to have the exact same abilities because it's the same character. Because they didn't do like one Mirage, one 80s version, which would have been better anyhow, so I don't know why they did that. Krang, ruler of Dimension X from the 80s cartoon. When Krang is active, if one of your other villain character dice attacks and is unblocked, re-roll them after the damage is dealt. If they land on a character face, place in your prep area instead of the use area. Interesting. So if they're unblocked, you can put, instead of going basically back into your bag, you can re-roll them and potentially use them again. 3-7, 4-8, 5-9. So there's some hefty defense on this guy. Krang Technodrome Commander, just regenerate, which I'm not sure what regenerate does. I'll look it up in a second. And Ultron Warlord. That's interesting that they're calling him an Ultron, because I thought that was something that came from the IEW thing. Well, apparently it's way back there. Interesting. That's a new thing to me. When fielded, move all sidekick dice from the opponent's use pile to prep area in their bag. Basically, like, get rid of them weaklings. What does regenerate do? I'm assuming it just lets him heal, like re-roll after the damage. Regenerate. If this character is KO'd, roll it. If you roll a character face, return it to the field, but not the attack zone. Otherwise, move it to your prep area. So even if it's KO'd, you gotta put it right to your prep area, which is kind of nice. Those guys out of there. So we got a couple of characters. We have another Shredder here. Now this Shredder, again, he, unfortunately, he looks like he's the same Shredder from the other set, which then comes back to my whole Casey Jones argument of why did they make him the same. Yep, 4-4, 6-6, 8-8. Alright, so that's kind of disappointing again. That he's the exact same stats as the other one, especially because again, I said like the Casey Jones was both Mirage characters on their cards. This is the Mirage version, and that's the 80s cartoon. So then, obviously, they're going to be different characters. They have different abilities. But, you know, whatever, I guess. With Shredder's active, each player loses 1 life at the start of their turn. That sucks. Hurts himself, too, but when Shredder... Old Rival. When Shredder deals combat damage to a turtle character, your opponent loses 3 life. So that's, again, that's good if you're fighting, obviously, against the Turtles. And then, Foot, join me. When fielded, move all villain dice from your use pile to your prep area. So he sets up with the Foot Soldiers. So I kind of like... So the other one had some good synergy with the Foot Soldiers. This one does too, but not specifically the Foot Soldiers. But yeah, it's neat. It's sort of interesting. Like him and Casey, that means you have 6 cards that you can choose, and they're all gonna always have the same stats. Where all the rest of them, I guess, if you're like, oh, I really like the 1 stats on this Rav, you have to pick one of those other 3 cards. So it's a little here and there, I guess. But even though they all have 6 cards for each of the Turtles, I would technically say they all only have 5 cards, because the 1 card in the middle is a 5-cost card that lets him play something for free. It's the exact same ability on every card. So here we have a bonsai tree. Which, who could that be? That could be anybody. No, it's Splinter. Because of course it is. It's, the 80s Splinter, Hamago Yoshi. So he has, 5'4", 6'5", and 7'7". So he's kind of down the road with a little heftier on attack, which is the opposite of the human version of Hamago Yoshi we got in the other box, where it was all protection. So when fielded, your energy and fist characters gain 1 attack till the end of your turn. So that'll be 2 of the turtles, and then so maybe you have one that does the other 2. That's sort of weird though, just the 2 turtles, because I think they all 4 have. I think all 4 of them cost different, don't they? So Raph is an energy, Mikey's a fist, shield, and mask. Yeah, each one is a different thing. So that's sort of interesting that he has a thing that lets him help out 2 of the turtles. And I thought, like, okay, so now the next ability is going to be the other 2, but it's not. When fielded, draw a die. If it is an energy or fist die, you may deal 2 damage to target opposing character die. Return it to your bag. So again, you bonuses for playing those characters. And then when fielded, he's a radical rat. I love that they put them in there. When fielded, target opposing character die can't block your fist or energy character dies. So it's cool abilities, but he only works with 2 of the turtles. And the ones in this set would mean he is helping out. If he's working with his turtles, he's working with Raphael and Michelangelo. So he's not really helping Donnie or Leo. So that's interesting that they did him that way. So we have 1 character left. And who do we have? Is that a rat? It is. We actually have another Splinter. So that's kind of odd, because I went through the other box first, which is, obviously, now that I'm going through others, that's the second set that came out. Because this is all Mirage and 80s cartoons. That one had some Mirage, was Nickelodeon and the 80s. But it didn't have a Splinter, which I thought was really weird. Like, how could you have a turtle set without actual Splinter? It had Hamago Yoshi, the human form, and not Splinter, because this one had 2 Splinters. Which, again, is really weird. You're like, here's all these different characters you can choose from. We're going to put Splinter in here twice. So here is a Splinter that's not a turtle character. The other one wasn't either, which is kind of interesting. But he has 4-5, 4-7, 6-8. So he's more of the defensive one. When fielded, your turtle character guys get 2 attack and 2 defense. So that's what makes it sort of interesting, because this version for 5 helps out all the turtle characters for 2 attack defense. The other one would give them 1 attack. Yeah. Only gives him 1 attack, but it's any lightning bolt, so he works with more different characters than just the turtles, but he does less stuff. So it's interesting. Sensei, when fielded, draw a die. If it is a mask or shield character, which are the other 2 turtles, roll it and place it in your reserve pool. Otherwise, put it in your used pile. And then this one kind of works with Master Splinter when fielded. Target opposing character can't block your mask or shield characters. And your turtle characters gain Overcrush. So it's kind of interesting. You get the one that works with the 2 and the other one that works with the other 2. Another thing I'm curious on, if I can get them out of here, is where are the other turtles? The other turtles are at the bottom of this stack of cards that I'm having trouble getting out of the box. Well, I just wanted to see was so the first one, this one set, the turtles were the cartoon Leo, or cartoon one. So Donnie and Leo were the mask and shield. On this other set, the shield and mask are Michelangelo and Raph. So that's actually a pretty interesting choice they made there too. Was because they're basically saying that, like, if you play the one Splinter, he helps out two of the turtles. You play the other Splinter, he'll help out the other two turtles. But then each set, it helps out the other two turtles. So you could essentially play two turtles from one set, two from the other set, and then they gain bonus from both Splinter. That's crazy why they did that. Alright, now we have the basic action cards to the cards everyone can use. So we have Cowabunga. If you have exactly one character die in the field, it gets +4 attacking over Crush till the end of turn. If you have more than one character die in the field zone, instead all of your characters gain 1 attack. That is nuts. That's crazy. Enraged. Up to 2 of your target character guys get 1 attack and over Crush till the end of turn. Give me a break. I'm gonna sing the entire song here. Target non-turtle guys can't block until the end of the turn. Global. Pay energy. Until the end of the turn, a character dies assigned to block is dealt 1 damage. So that's neat to have cards like this that only focus on certain classes or teams. And then you get ones like this that work for them. Heroes in a half shell. Target character die gets +2 attack to the next turn. If there's a turtle, it also gets 2 defense. Lethal blow. Move target level 1 character die from the field zone to the prep area. He just takes him out. Instead, target any character in the field zone. If you have 2, instead move him to the die bag. So basically, like, I'm gonna wound you so you're not in the battle anymore, and then you roll 1 asterisk. You can do any character. If you roll 2, you're just like, I just eliminated you. Here's a pizza. Gain 1 life. You may not use this basic action dice if you have 15 or more life. Pay 1 shield. Once during your turn, if you have less than 10 life, gain 1. So this would be a fun one just to always start with like a starting game, because then you always have a chance to potentially gain some extra life. Costs 1 to buy, so like everyone could buy one. Maybe even be like, like, hey, maybe only put like 2 dice on it and be like, I can buy one, you can buy one, just to be fair, like it's a starting game. Reckless Abandon. Deal 1 damage to each character die, including your own. Instead, deal 1 damage to each player. Instead, even worse, deal 1 damage to each player and each die. So that's a good way to like finish people off, or deal with the minions. Special delivery. Draw 2 dice from your bag and roll them. That for 4? That's crazy. Tactical cover. This is like a famous cover here. Your character dice gets 2 defense. 1 asterisk or 2. Also, target character gets 3 defense. Global. Pay a shield. Target character gets 1 defense. The giant defense card. That's cool. The Turtle Van. Continuous. You may send this die to the use pile to prevent all damage to target blocking character. That's neat. And then we have the 4 colors. So we can, slide these on. These are the red die. These are the purple ones. So that's cool. Alright, so we went through all the cards and topics. One last thing I wanted to go through is I just wanted to see what this would look like if I did it, if it worked. So, since they only have the 2 boxes for the turtles, and these came out a while ago, and since then they've added, like I said, like Warhammer and WWE, and they haven't made another turtle set. It doesn't sound like they're probably going to make, like, another one coming out. If they did, that'd be awesome. But I just want to see, so if you bought both sets, you can fit everything into one box fairly conveniently. So you have your little playmats, you have your 2 instruction books. Now, again, depending on how much of a, I have to keep every single thing, is whether you need to keep both instruction books, because you could just figure out whichever one's, this one's probably more updated than the other one. And you could probably just keep that one. You wouldn't have to keep both. Same thing like these, if you didn't want to have all of these sitting in here, you wouldn't have to. But they do slide in here nice. There's a little lip right there. And that means the book fits nice too. But when you have a second book, it's going to have to get stacked on. So it kind of sits a little awkward in the middle. It's a little bit higher. But the box still closed just fine. It didn't like hold up the box. It wasn't that big of a deal. Otherwise, yeah, then you have this nice little cover. And then you have a second entire tray. So that means if they did release another set, it would almost be cool if they released two. Then you could have like a Turtles box versus a Villains box. But yeah, everything I have so far fits in here. I put all the baggies in this one, and obviously I can fit more if I had to. Or if you bought like your own, you could put a special bag in there. All the cards fit in here nicely. I did mention about sleeving them, and I know some people like this. I mean, I'm one of these people, I sleeve like every single card game I have. But you don't really need to with this game. You can, just to help protect them from being on the table, or if you're playing with kids and they're touching them and stuff. But otherwise, I don't know if it's really necessary, because you pick out like your 5 cards or 6 cards, or they sit on the table and they sit there. The only other interaction they have is a guy will sit on top of them. So they look like they will accommodate sleeves just fine. So if you bought one box and you wanted to sleeve all your cards, I think you'd be fine. But if you bought, or if you keep them each in their own separate container, then they probably sleeve just fine. But if you put them all in one, if you sleeve them, it's not going to fit in here. It's going to stick out. Even with that said, I had to take all of the... I took all of the basic cards, including the little divider pieces, and I put them all in here. And again, you don't really need to keep 2 sets of each of these if you're playing one game, because you're only going to be able to use up to 4 at a time. But even that being said, you probably don't need this many of these dice or this many of those. But I just stuck them in this little tray. I could stick them in here, but it's going to stick up way higher. And I did take out these ones and put them in there. It sticks up a little, like the top card or two. Looked like it would slide. And this case, plastic case piece, might hold it in place. But I was like, rather than risking one card sliding around, I can just stick it in there. I can drop some dice on top of it. It'll help kind of push down and hold it down. Plus these dice here will hold it. Like I said, I put all the 2 bags of all the generic dice in here. And yes, if you kept this by itself, I'd probably be putting all of these in the 1/2 here, plus all this, which I kind of should have tried that first to see what that looked like. But I'm assuming this would definitely hold all of these, because you have to cut these dice in half, which would be about here. So I mean, there's probably enough dice. It might not even fill all this up. You might end up with extra holes if you didn't have both sets. I'm not sure. I don't know if there's enough pawn dice to fill up an entire side. What did it say? 92 dice per set. You get 10 per each side, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's, yeah. 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 70, 79. Yeah, so it might just, with these dice, you might just fill up this entire thing like that. So you probably could. Then you have giant open holes here. I did put the extra cards in here to begin with because there's no finger holes. What was happening was, it fits in there. It can slide a bit, which is fine. But to get the bottom cards out, I had to like dig them out, which I didn't like. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, look at this. It holds all the different all the different turtles and everything. So I put like all the turtles in a row. They're colored dice down there. I have all the Aprils. Here I have the 3 different Splinkers and Hamayoshi, Casey Jones. They're kind of like in-between characters. Metalhead, Rennick, Fugitoid, Slash, and Leatherhead. So I kind of kept the foot over here. Shredder, Crane, Bebop, Rocksteady. 2 foot soldiers, Cry, Baxter, Triceratons. And I just filled in with these extra dice here just so they didn't all slide around. So yeah, it's really nice. You buy both sets. One case will hold all of them, so you don't have to have 2 boxes sitting around. But ideal, you could if you want. You want to sleeve your cards. You want to put all these in there. Or now I have an extra separate tray I could use for if you end up buying like a handful of other Marvel or DC sets. One thing I don't like is maybe I don't understand how this works, but like I need to take the dice out. I mean they don't come out too bad if you're full, kind of slide them up, but like of course now I can do it without a problem. Like earlier here's the problem. I couldn't get these dice out. So I was trying to go this way. Like these will kind of flip out a little bit, but like these dice on the bottom are a little bit harder to get out. They're not too bad this direction, but yeah, I was trying this way. I was just struggling. Yeah, so that's the Ninja Turtles Dicemasters. Yeah, that fits in there nice. You did the test. You put the top on, hold it down, flip it. Nothing came out, which is really nice. Again, these cards are going to slide a little bit, but you can't do much about that. I still don't know if I would put this in my, even with that case and everything, I still think I would store it this direction. I don't think I would store it up, because all it would take is just top to loosen just enough, and that inner case thing just to loosen slightly, and then everything's gonna fall out, and then you're gonna have a gross box full of stuff. Alright, so that's the 2 different turtle sets. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you do, tell me in the comments if there's some of the other sets you might like to see. Maybe I'll try and buy some other boosters or whatnot. See you guys later. Bye.